What's up, Crew World? What's up, Freakers? The Arc 1600 here, and we're back again to do another review of Dragon Ball Super, episode 93. I'm here with the kid.
It's Genshi.
And I'll be your host, Arc 1600. So with that being said, what did you think about this episode?
Man, I thought it was more filler. Although we did get some interesting tidbits. We got, obviously Frieza on his way back. He's going to join as the 10th member of the Z Fighters universe. So that's interesting.
Interesting with the question mark at the end of it?
Yeah.
More than interesting, it was awesome. Of all the people they could choose to bring back to life, or of all the people they could get to add as the 10th member of their team, they go and get Frieza. That's how you know Goku's a crazy son of a gun. When he thinks, you know what, I'll just get the person that single-handedly exterminated my race.
Murdered all of my friends.
Murdered my father, my biological father, and is responsible for the extinction of several planets and the whole reason why the Saiyans were evil in the first place. I'll bring him back. You know why? Because I'm Goku and I'm forgiving.
And he's extremely strong.
Yes, Frieza is extremely strong, and I totally, for me, it makes sense for him to come back. It would have been cool to see some other characters come back, like Cell, or some of the other DBZ villains, but I guess the notion is that Frieza, since he is unwilling to repent, his body remains in hell.
Right.
Whereas
he can't transfer over to the great beyond, or whatever the hell
exactly, and become a little spirit sprite thing that the other things become. If you remember back in Dragon Ball, they become a lot of the people that didn't accomplish certain feats while living would just be sprites. So
right.
Your ordinary human would just be a sprite, whereas someone like Goku or Vegeta, someone that has done heroic deeds, is going to get to keep their actual body.
Right.
Which is another thing that doesn't make sense, because if the people that go to hell, why do they get to keep their body? Maybe so they can feel more pain. I don't know.
I guess. You torture the body, you can't really maybe torture the spirit.
Exactly.
Not sure.
I don't know. It might be one of those many Dragon Ball Z plot holes that...
You know what's crazy is you got dead and then super dead.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting, so yeah.
And you know what? I guess being in the Home for Infinite Losers, as it was called in the dub, I love saying the Home for Infinite Losers. I wish they'd bring that back. But yeah, I guess being there is a lot better than being Hakkai'd by Lord Beerus. Now, Hakkai means destroy, and when Lord Beerus hits you with that, pretty much you cease to exist.
You don't come back.
Period.
Yep.
As in, there is no heaven, there is no hell, there is no Dragon Balls. It's like you were never there. Hakkai.
Yep.
Or when Zeno does that self-destruct move. But anyways,
so I agree with that being interesting. Frieza coming on as a member is pretty interesting. I like to see the dynamic between him and the rest of the team, seeing that he murdered most of the team, you know what I mean, or at least beat the living hell out of them. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that dynamic. That's extremely interesting. And then I guess the other thing that occurred through this episode
is fake Broly, or the female Broly, Kale.
Broly.
She does the tingly thing where she takes all her energy and she makes it tinkle winkle in her back.
That's not what set her off.
I know, but it's kind of ridiculous, because essentially that's how they initially tried to explain it, the Super Saiyan loophole.
Why don't any of them have tails? Those Saiyans do not have tails.
Well, you have to keep in mind, their universe evolved differently than the other Saiyans.
But I thought at their base form, Saiyans were just giant,
Well, they evolved differently. That's why. At least, I'm not sure if that's actual canon or head canon. Don't quote me on it. Ask Geekdom 101 next time you see him. But anyways, we got to see the incarnation of Broly in the DBZ universe, in this DBZ canon. And that was really awesome to see. Granted, Broly, or Kale in this instance, is kind of like a mindless Hulk, as Broly was.
Yeah, and she goes after the person that she has the most anger towards, which didn't really make sense, but was a Kaba at the time. Can I just say that Kale is kind of annoying?
Oh yeah, her voice. I just don't know what the dose is. I just eat.
But
oh my gosh, dude! It sounds like some adult material that I'm not going to speak of, but if you watch anime, you know what I'm talking about.
I just can't handle. I can't handle her. And then I don't know. this is another thing that I talked about previously in maybe one of my solo dolo reviews, but I really don't like that they are showing all of the transformation, all of the goods before the tournament. It would have been so neat to have Kale as one of the fighters, and then for her to go legendary Super Saiyan, turn, I don't know, like 20 times as big, and just lay the smackdown on one of the Z fighters unknowingly. Like, that would have been, to me, a much better time to show this kind of thing off.
Absolutely. I think watching that happen in the midst of a fight would have been the proper way to make that happen. But, I mean, it is what it is. Dragon Ball, the creators of it, they have the reasons for doing what they do. So I'll just kind of put faith in it that it's going to work out. And that by the time we get to the tournament, we're going to see some more awesome shit.
More awesome stuff.
The way I look at it, the only reason why they possibly unveiled these transformations now is because they have some doper shit to show us in the actual tournament. You know, perhaps maybe a new transformation for Vegeta, who just got out of the hyperbolic time chamber. Maybe Goku is hiding some shit. Maybe Frieza has a diabolical plan, which I'm sure will come to light during the tournament.
Oh, of course.
I'm sure as soon as Goku showed up, Frieza was like, "I'm about to get this motherfucker."
Yeah, he was
I'm
ready.
about to get this.
He was plotting. I love your optimism. I love your faith. I've got a smidge of that. I've got a smidge of faith. I haven't disliked Super so far. I actually quite enjoy most of it. It's just got questionable. It's taking questionable steps.
Yeah. Some of the steps are definitely questionable, but we'll see where it goes. We're all along for the ride, so no complaints here. And then the final thing is we got to see one of the universes. I don't know. We got this mouse god guy.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to come up with a diabolical plan on one of the other universes.
Spying on universes.
To be honest, I don't really care much for him, but it's cool. Just so you know,
it's cool.
Interesting mouse fact of the day. Did you know that Chuck E. Cheese's actual full name is Chuck, or it's actually Charles Entertainment Cheese? Did you know that?
I did not.
Charles Entertainment Cheese is his real name.
I assumed Charles was the name, but E, I didn't know stood for entertainment.
It's amazing.
He's like, entertainment, that's my middle name.
The more you know.
Anyways. That is actually interesting. But I think that wrinkle with the mouse guy, as much as I don't really care for it, they talk about taking Beerus out. And I thought that would be interesting because they hear about Frieza, the Lord, like basically like a Lord of Destruction, right? Mm-hmm. And they're gonna take Beerus out, so therefore there has to be a new God of Destruction. Therefore, maybe Frieza would take that mantle, which I think would be pretty interesting. And that would take the 10th fighter back out and bring maybe Boo back. You already know some stuff?
That would be cool if that happened, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if they went that route, that would be really sudden. That would be very sudden, and it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out. But, with that being said, that concludes our episode of Dragon Ball Super, episode 93. Rate, comment, subscribe. Hit us up on Twitter at Idiofreq. And this is the ARC 1600 signing out.
It's been Genji.
Peace, and much love to you.